Today we're going to talk about Elon and Tucker Carlson's demise on Twitter, and I interview the White House Communications Director, Ben LaBault, about Republicans like Ron DeSantis denying the very humanity of the LGBT population, the White House's plan on climate in the wake of record heat, some tangible wins from Bidenomics, and which message they're going with heading into 2024. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen, and you're watching No Lie. So a reporter at Media Matters, Matt Gertz, he posted the total views for Tucker Carlson's new Twitter show, and I want to read you the numbers, but keep in mind that the numbers are already inflated because Elon switched out views for impressions, meaning that even if you just scroll past the video, they're pretending that that counts as if someone just sat down and watched Tucker Carlson's show. But irrespective of the accuracy of the views, just check out the trajectory. Tucker's announcement got 137 million views. Episode 1 got 120 million. Episode 2 got 60 million. Episode 3, that's Trump's indictment, bumped up to 104 million. And then the next episodes in order got 32, 17, 32, 15, and 8. First off, again, these are not real numbers. They are the product of Elon's very blatant view count manipulation. But the point here is that Tucker is now at 5%. 5% of what he was getting before, which goes to show that it really is the time slot on Fox that was Tucker's biggest boon. And in the same way that no one ever thought that anyone could replace Bill O'Reilly, only for Tucker to then go in and get higher viewership, someone else will come in after Tucker because, again, it is not the person, it is the fact that all of these nursing home TVs are set to Fox, and they're going to go on at 8 p.m. regardless of whether it's Bill O'Reilly or Tucker Carlson or Jesse Waters or a burning cross on a front lawn. I will concede, though, that Tucker is certainly more dangerous than O'Reilly or Jesse Waters, so I'm glad that he doesn't have that slot, but I also don't want to overstate his importance or make it seem like, the whole world is just going to follow him onto whatever platform that he ends up on, because right now he's managed to lose 95% of his views in just 2 months. Obviously, we can't talk about any of this without acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, Tucker putting his eggs in the Elon basket wasn't the most savvy business decision. Maybe don't hitch your wagon to the guy who showed so much oozing contempt for his own users that it spurred like 12 Twitter spinoffs, including one by Meta, that people actually accepted. Like, not for nothing, but do you know how shitty you have to be for people to embrace a product by Mark Zuckerberg? Meta may actually be one of the worst companies there is, and yet here I am getting the Threads logo tattooed onto my forehead because that's how much I want Elon Musk to fail. And clearly I'm not alone, considering it hit 70 million users within like 48 hours. I searched online a bit, and I believe that Twitter has about 350 million daily active users. If that's the case, then Threads already has 20% of that in like a day. So yeah, again, you have to be a special brand of shitty for people to run into the arms of Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, honestly, Elon wanted to punish Twitter users and pet his little fanboys and turn verification upside down so that the only people who have priority on that website are the ones calling everybody else groomers. Now he'll have exclusively those people on his platform. It's basically a $44 billion Truth Social. Here's the thing. Elon didn't actually want a platform of groveling right-wing fanboys. He wanted a platform where he could punish everyone else. That was the allure. He wanted power over the people that he didn't like. And because Twitter was the only quote-unquote social town hall, no one had a choice but to get fucked by him. But now, because we do have a choice, everyone left and Elon's kingdom has devolved into, just right-wing miscreants and anti-vaxxers. Dude paid $44 billion for an advertiser's nightmare. All of which is to say, I don't anticipate being on Twitter much myself. I'm happy to use Threads instead. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg is bad, but yes, Elon is worse. And the only silver lining in all of this is that Elon lost a boatload of money, and Tucker's numbers are going down with Elon's sinking ship. And look, yes, this is just some social media site and probably doesn't mean much, but there is value in not having a rabid right-wing provocateur in charge of the social town hall. And there's value in not having a white supremacist who has the biggest show on that social town hall. Elon was doing everything in his power to elevate the voices of the worst purveyors of hate and disinformation, and because of that, he's going to be left with a platform where effectively no one listens to any of those people anymore. And that's not just good for social media, it's good for our democracy. Next up is a preview of my interview with the White House Communications Director. There was an ad that Ron DeSantis' campaign had aired tacking to the right of Trump on the LGBT community, basically attacking Trump for not simply demonizing that community. Now, I know you can't respond directly to the campaign ad, but just in general, what's your reaction to these Republicans like Ron DeSantis positioning themselves as refusing to recognize the very humanity of the LGBT population?
Yeah, as you pointed out, as a government official, I can't get into the details of the campaign, but I can point out that there have been 600 anti-LGBT laws passed by Republican governors over the past few years to take away the rights of gay people across the country. And, they're completely out of step with the public. And I think they're not only pursuing cruel policies here, but they've completely misunderstood the politics as well. I mean, the vast majority of the American people support rights for LGBTQ Americans and think they should be expanded, not taken away. Most people have a gay person who's either in their friend network or in their family, and that certainly changed their perceptions over the years. I think the biggest change in public opinion, the swiftest one in my lifetime, was around marriage equality, for example. So the fact that they're trying to appease a very small part of their MAGA base with these sorts of attacks, I think completely misjudges the politics of the situation. And that video in particular, I mean, the notion that you have to use references to Patrick Bateman, a fictional character from American Psycho who, chopped up people with a chainsaw to prove your masculinity, just shows how out of step some of these folks are.
Yeah, I mean, just from a political expert's point of view, and this is taking off your hat as the communications director, but how do you anticipate they'll reconcile taking these like draconian positions on abortion, on LGBT rights, when they're trying to win in the Republican primary versus what they eventually have to do by going to the general election? I mean, these are going to be basically non-starters. So how do you reconcile these things?
Well, I think there's a big disconnect. These MAGA elected officials across the country talk often about protecting freedom. And there's a great irony behind that, because if you're a woman who cares about making her own healthcare decisions, if you're a parent that believes that you should be deciding what books your kids have access to, not an ideological governor, if you're somebody who cares about equality and rights for all Americans, these MAGA elected officials are doing nothing but attacking your rights, attacking your freedom, and trying to take that away. And so part of what the president has done, whether that was protecting marriage equality and codifying it into law after the court started coming after some of these rights as well, it's really made clear that Republican elected officials are not defending freedom at all. They're in fact taking it away from many people. And I think that will have significant repercussions.
Yeah, I think they're happy to protect freedom so long as that freedom comports with all of their religious, theocratic, and political views. To check out the full interview with Ben LeBold, click the thumbnail right here on the screen, or check out the interviews playlist on my YouTube channel. To listen to the audio version of this podcast, that link is on the screen. And finally, to see more of my content, click the subscribe button on the screen as well.